All right, Miss Yami, I would like to call the meeting to order at 6:11. And I would like to start us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Okay, Miss Haney, can you do a voice roll call, please?
Trustee Bosker.
Here.
Trustee Byler. Absent. Trustee Manning.
Both of them are excused. They have reached out to the board chair.
Thank you. Trustee Miskowitz.
Present.
Trustee Oldenburg.
Here.
And Trustee Ramsey.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Public comment. Public comment at this time on the agenda is for individuals to comment on items that are not on today's agenda. These comments must be about public matters and cannot include any private matters. We will ask individuals to try to keep their comments to 3 minutes. And also at this time, I'd like to let the public know that we are going to, when we discuss things on the agenda, you guys get a chance to discuss them first, then the board, but after that, if you have any questions on anything that the board is discussing, please email Mr. Ramsey or the board chair or the vice chair, and we will get those answered for you.
Still no quorum.
No, we're good.
Sorry.
You have quite a ways to go before you're on it, though.
Playing volleyball.
Okay. Do we have any public comments at this time? Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Would you guys like to do all of this from A to E? A to E, it's, you have to do elementary separate because Child Creek can't vote on those, but everything else is the full board.
I do have a couple comments on
Yeah.
some of the minutes, but
Would you like to individually do those, or can we just consent them and then,
yeah, we can.
okay. Can I get a motion to consent from, item 3A, B, C, D, and E?
I make a motion to consent agenda items A, B, C, D, and E.
I second.
Public comment? Board discussion?
Did you think you caught something that was off?
Yeah, maybe 2 things.
And on, which one, Eric, to start off with?
One is in the regular meeting, Tammy.
So, July the 14th?
Yes.
Okay.
So for side-by-side consulting, when that was brought to us last time, there was the budget was not in yet, or the estimate or the quote. It was just a contract with nothing, and I believe the motion that was made was to proceed moving forward, but that it needed to come back to the full board once the budget was there. Mr. Ramsey volunteered to review the video tomorrow to see if that's accurate or not. But if so, we should update the minutes to reflect that, and then it would need to come back to the full board. And if I'm wrong, then nothing needs to happen except for Amber signing it.
Okay.
And then the second one, I don't know how the rest of the board feels or how critical, but the last meeting, so that would have been August 5th. The motion on the offer to Mr. Ramsey.
So C,
Yeah,
C or,
so 3C. We didn't capture kind of the range that the board authorized the chair and vice chair to work within. And the 1 year and what's the third part? It was the budget, the term, and
We were gonna do.
You want the minutes to reflect those comments. I think that's fair.
I think they should, cause that's what you guys authorized us to deal with it, and so
So
if
if
it comes
anybody
out
comes
otherwise,
back-
you can yell at me and Amber.
Money, days, the principal, the superintendent, what those equal up to be, the days, anything to do with the contract.
You guys negotiating from the 90
Yeah.
to 95.
Yeah, I think the two important ones are the salary range and the 1-year term.
Okay.
That, I think it'd be good if we reflected those, Tammy.
Okay, noted.
Thanks, that's all I had.
Any further board discussion? Okay, can we get a show of hands? All in favor?
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve item 3F, approval of elementary claims and warrants?
I make a motion to approve consent agenda item F. Elementary claims and payroll warrants.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Public discussion? Alright, board discussion.
Looks good to me.
Tammy, would you like a hand vote with the Trout Creek abstaining?
Either way. So yes,
Hand vote, all in favor?
Dawson trustees only. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have no old business at this time, so we're moving on to item 5A, consider approval of the MOU with Avista Emergency Staircase. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve the the amendment to the MOU on the Knoxon stairs.
I second the motion on the MOU amendment with the Vista emergency staircase.
Public discussion? MOU for emergency staircase?
Avista is still putting that in.
Yes,
They're
ma'am.
Will it be done this year? No,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think we have that to be
Okay.
determined yet.
That's the only question.
Okay. Board discussion.
I could give
Let's
a
go.
quick background, it's not changing
Could you
anything.
please? Cause
Yeah.
that's what, I didn't think that it changed from the last one, but I couldn't find it in my paper copies.
Yep, so we made the agreement, between the school and Avista that Avista would build the stairs, work with the school, make sure that it was exactly what was needed, and then Avista would turn over the stairs to be the full property of the school and free and clear. So that's the agreement. It was gonna expire because it's been a very slow process, and so the only thing the amendment does is extend the end date of that agreement.
Okay. And you guys don't see it taking too much longer, or is there no indication?
Supposed to get a quote today from a local contractor, local meaning Libby, which would be wonderful,
Mhm.
because we only have one other, which is from a big firm out of Spokane. Really like to see it go local, so to be determined. Once I get that, Avista will decide whether there is enough to do a sole source justification or whether we have to do this process that'll take a month with a formal request for proposals. My goal though is to get concrete poured before snow flies because that's the time sensitive part, then they can assemble them. But we'll have to work with the school on when a construction window and what can happen when and what can't happen when. But
Okay.
with any luck, we'll have concrete poured this at least late in the fall or winter, early winter.
Any other questions? Okay, can I get a hand raised vote? Why did I say that?
Show of hands.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5B, consider approval of classified position. We're gonna do these one by one. So I need a approval of classified positions A, please.
Make a motion to approve classified position A, operations support staff.
Can I get a second?
A second.
Any public discussion?
Just question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that for her cooking class?
No, ma'am.
What is an operations support staff?
This isn't really question and
Oh,
answer time,
okay.
this is you
Okay.
can make a comment.
Uh,
Questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Okay.
Echo, I will get you the job description to that.
No, it's okay. I was just wondering what it was.
Well,
I'll
I'm
keep an eye
curious what it is.
It's
Yeah.
on our, oh, you don't have a computer. Here you go.
So I didn't get it either.
No.
It wasn't hyperlinked when I downloaded the agenda.
Okay, so job title is Operations Support Specialty. The job descriptions, we are looking for organized and proactive individuals to join our team. Okay, then you guys can read it.
32.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Miss Tammy, can you give us a little background, or Mr. Ramsey, on this, please?
So this is a new position for Louise, who has been here full time for several years. And so what this position will do is provide support for our office staff, allow us to be able to have somebody cross-trained in Tammy's job and in Robin's job, somebody to fill in some of the pieces and things that they need assistance with. We'll be able to have her work on our school website and get it cleaned up and organized. That'll be one of the things that she does. It'll be able to help with, we don't have a librarian, so we'll be able to have her help with the library. And hopefully get this organized in here. Oversight of the food services, which she's been doing for years. She's no longer, we only have 2 people in the kitchen. And so she'll be able to help fill in on that, be able, as kids are coming through the line, be able to take their numbers and leave the 2 that we have in the kitchen available for serving and whatnot. And then adult ed coordination. She'll help out with that, and helping to create courses and
Will she be with adult ed, will she be the new white cell that'll be here to open and let them in and stuff? Will that be
Yes.
part of it?
No, that's to be determined, that's a separate.
Okay, thank you. And where is she on the classified, pay scale? For this position?
I believe grade 11.
That's not completely maxed out though, right?
It is completely maxed out.
Maxed.
So why is this 0.57 FTE?
the remainder of her FTE is taken up by the culinary classes that she teaches.
That's 0.43.
Yes.
And what's the history? We used to have a similar role like 3 or 4 years ago. I thought I had heard. Is that accurate?
Well, we used to have Rhonda as the library, Cindy as our, tech,
Deals
And-
person.
yep, and then,
I had an assistant clerk, a half-time assistant clerk.
and then we lost her in the food service, so she kinda took over her old, like a little bit fraction of that.
So this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sarah.
go ahead.
Well, I'm just curious, with, I think, I don't know if it's unanimous, but I think there's a desire to figure out the principal side of the school at some point and take that off Mr. Ramsey's plate. He's
Yeah.
gonna be very busy, and some of me wonders how much of this could or should or not be supported
By the principal.
by the principal.
So you're thinking that these jobs could be done if we had a principal?
Well, I'm asking the question. right?
Well, no, that I was just
I
clarifying
kinda
in my
think,
brain.
I was
in
thinking
my
the same
brain.
thing.
I don't really see these, you know, the description of these job duties as being strictly principal based. What a principal does is these is more administrative and clerical support than you know, educational leader type role.
But we're
These
also,
are filling in the holes that over the years as we have cut staff, these are things that, okay, they did shift to Mrs. Horner when she was principal. But
I guess,
it was, the tech and DLC person was Mrs. Shepherd, and then that position just kinda went away, was absorbed by other people. The halftime clerk has just been absorbed by me, and I'm missing that halftime help.
and how many years do we have the halftime help?
Since 2016 we had help. When I started the kids here, I can tell you we had two in the clerk
And
part-time.
then
and
the librarian,
then-
we no longer have a librarian, we used to have a full-time librarian on staff.
And then, I guess I still go back to June, when Mr. Whitesell recommended we don't hire another Title I teacher to make any more positions. I feel like that's why we got the grant, that's where we're struggling the most. And the students, for adding another, for the full potential of each child. And I'm still kinda stuck on that.
And I had one question brought to from a community member wanting to know why this position was not open
I got the
to
same
the
question.
public. And correct me if I was wrong, but our CBA, we open how our policies are, is we open internally and then externally, correct?
Of the CBA.
Well, a policy, CBA is one of
So
the
a
two.
CBA just covers teachers.
Okay, so, but our policy is usually we open it internally.
And externally, just community was curious, they never seen it advertised.
And I thought we had a policy and I was trying to
No.
look it up, to see if we did actually have one. I just know that we
I
normally
know, yeah,
open
that
it
is
internally.
in the CBA, but
It's
that
only
is,
just the teachers.
that's just over teachers.
Yeah, and this would be a classified.
This is a
so-
classified position.
So it was offered,
And it's somebody who's been on staff
Mhm.
full-time for multiple years already.
Okay.
So it's
The reassignment
a
of
reassignment of duties, a
Okay.
reclassification of what her job role is.
Okay.
I guess,
so I keep coming back to wanting to put roles, responsibilities, and expectations on paper. And, you know, whether that's a board policy, so of superintendent, principal, clerk, so that there's this clear, there's no confusion about who's responsible for what.
I like that.
And I think that should be done in a way that captures what's best for Knoxon School, because, you know, we're very different than a lot of other schools. Recognize, but I think it needs to be written in a way where it allows flexibility, because we are a small school and so often someone ends up stepping up and taking on a role, but at least it's something to aspire towards, or like it's the norm that we want to have.
There are sample job descriptions like that on MTSBA. They have those.
But getting back to that, you know, I think if we look at the ideal model, I expect some of these things would potentially be the rightful place of, potentially a principal.
Like which ones?
Potentially website, certainly some level of, working with Tammy and understanding all things, program oversight, adult education potentially.
I do agree with the adult education. I don't agree with the website part of it because that is a huge task. And I don't want our principal to be bogged down with when we're updating the website, because just this summer it's almost been a full-time job of trying to get our policies up to date on there, our all the information, the school list is everything. That it's been a full-time job. So I like that we're having a discussion about this and like narrowing things down. This is also a classified position, so that does mean that next year we will be discussing this again, correct?
Yeah, we can, and we can solidify what those are. I mean, bottom line from my perspective is Tammy needs some help.
Yeah.
She's super busy and, works.
And as far as the cross training and the clerk's position, if something was to happen, we need somebody who can step in and still handle payroll,
Yes.
still get the claims paid.
Mhm.
So it's the cross train thing, and that is something that is part of our audit every year. And we don't get a finding on it, but they always note.
Ding us for it. It's in their discussion.
You don't have enough people that can handle things if something was to happen.
I do see that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that could be way out of line, but I do see that as something the superintendent, as the CEO of the school, should be able to,
To run
to
payroll
work
and
towards
cut
understanding
checks.
it well enough to be able to fill that
Well,
role.
I
Didn't
don't,
you only have Heather the 1 year? That's all I can.
And it was just
See,
once in a
as we
great
had-
while, if there was a big project coming
Yeah.
up.
That's what I was thinking, that all the
Yes.
years I don't remember somebody helping.
yeah,
them.
we had Kathy and Tammy was our part-time and Kathy was full-time, and then they swapped roles where Kathy was part-time and Tammy. And then when, I can't think of her name, when Mr. Kaiser was here, she had help.
Laura.
Thank you. I could see her face, I just could not think of her name. She had help. Since I have started in the school, we've had 2 in the payroll district clerk
I guess I'm
position.
just thinking that at an all-time low of numbers from what we know in 20 years. I don't know.
The bad thing is even though that we might have a sliding enrollment, that doesn't mean that our payroll, our claims, anything that has to do with our financial things, getting the numbers to OPI on time, getting the numbers to the county on time, getting all of these things, keeping up with the grant money, all that, none of that changes. Her job doesn't change. We could have 2 kids here or 200 kids.
I think my big concern is just kind of like I said last time, I don't see this as the ideal model potentially.
I don't either.
But we gotta have the right support in place for this coming year. And so I think, and school starts in a little over a week. So at least personally, I'm comfortable moving on something. I do worry about, that it's not precedent setting, that over the course of the next year, we try and figure out and make sure we have the right model.
I agree
Well-
with, I do agree with that. I think we need the help on the things that is on the job description. We definitely need
I can
those
see
help.
some need for the help, but then, so if I go back to like the audit report,
Mhm.
that's the place we are in the most negative.
Yeah, but we're negative in the kitchen.
That's what I mean, the audit
She-
report in
yeah.
the kitchen.
But she's only doing a little bit of the kitchen. Like she's gonna be helping out in the kitchen, but that's not gonna be in the kitchen budget. It's not gonna be
No.
reflected in the food service. So putting her in those 2 things with the food service, we won't see those negatively affect the amount of money. We will see it positively affect it, because then we won't have a sub on like busy days or anything, because Louise can go in there and help. You know what I'm saying is like she's gonna still be helping, and the things that have to be done in the kitchen job wise with the paperwork for OPI and the food service is astronomical. So if she can help them out, that should eliminate the hours that we're spending in there. So that should help it too.
So I guess,
And like Eric's saying, is this might not be the perfect fit for us, but it's a good fit now to get us through this year, and then we have a full year to get the right job description that we need in place, and we could, as Mr. Oldenburg is wanting to do, is set that principal role very good. And some of these things in here that we couldn't go into that, it will, like, we will have time to play with those
yeah,
things.
and I see that. I guess I'm just thinking, if she was in charge of the budget in there, and we got into that big a negative, then putting in charge of this, it kind of is a little bit
It
of a red
doesn't put
flag.
her in charge of any budget anywhere.
Well,
And she didn't put us in a budget in the kitchen. It,
she oversees it though as the head, right?
yeah, she
That's
does.
the way I read it.
No, you're right. She was the head of the kitchen, but I don't think personally she put us in
Not
a negative.
personally,
And I don't think there was anything
But-
that we could have done better within the guidelines that we actually have to follow in the kitchen. We can always do better. I just think that she did the best that she could in the parameters that we had.
and
so.
I'm just learning all this. I just read it and see that if
Right.
the 1 year it was 22, somebody's got to speak up somewhere.
No, I get it. Any further discussion?
I would add that in addition to Tammy, who definitely believe needs support and overlap and stuff, I also think that if this were not filled, a lot of this would add to Mr. Ramsey's responsibility list, which
Can't.
it's too big as it is, and so I think we gotta be mindful of that. And the other, is I think as Mr. Ramsey gets his feet, he doesn't have ink on the contract yet, so giving him time to get his feet under him and come up with a plan for the school. I think we need to get from point A to point B when Mr. Ramsey can start getting his vision in front of us, I think.
Any further discussion? Okay, Miss Tammy, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Bosker,
Yes.
Board Chair Miskowitz,
Yes.
Vice Chair Oldenburg,
Yes.
and Trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5B, paraprofessionals, or do you guys wanna separate 1 and 2, or do it as a paraprofessionals?
Let's do it together.
Okay, so, need a motion for consider approval of B, paraprofessionals. We have 2 positions, Nikki Alexander and Echo Silretsky.
Make a motion to approve the classified positions for Nikki Alexander and Echo Zaretsky.
Can I get a second?
My second.
Public discussion? Board discussion?
Good choices.
I have one question. We will not, since we do not have our final numbers, we could potentially hire more paraprofessionals if we need more one-on-one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And-
I still have all the applications of, I interviewed 7 candidates for these 2 positions, and I have the remaining 5 applicants.
Okay,
So if I'm correct, we've already approved 4 for one-on-ones. And these 2 would be to be in the K pre-K and 1 in the 4-5.
Potentially, what I wanna do is I wanna sit with all of the pairs and have a discussion with them and hear what they have to say about where they would like to be. And where, the people that would be the best fit for those different positions.
So currently though, we have 4 known one-on-ones and then the 2 classrooms, that's the vision.
We have the known paras that are already hired. Right?
In terms of the need though.
We have 4
we
kids
have
that
4
need.
Yes, as far as the need, we have a need for a pre-K, K
Yep.
para, a full-time para in the 4-5 classroom.
Yep.
And then we have 4
the
students.
4 one-on-ones.
Okay.
5 one-on-ones.
5.
So if any more one-on-ones
Wait.
end up,
5
then we would have to,
So,
We already have 5 parents for one-on-ones.
okay,
Yeah.
so we have hired in Brown, Mrs. Carolyn, Mrs. Sylvia, Jenny Byler, and then we just hired Echo, or Echo.
Casey Hartman is also.
Thank you, I knew,
Yeah,
okay.
Those are our 5
Thank you.
paras.
Thank you. I just missed one. I was going through the list in my head. I just missed one. That's it. Okay. So you might potentially move
Right.
Howard.
I wanna hear from all of the paras where they would like to be and give them an opportunity to speak, use their voice to tell me where the best people are in the right spot.
And just to remind the public, we do our discussion after your guys' discussion. Any questions that you have or comments, wait until the end of the meeting and pull us to the side or email us your questions. Okay, thank you, Ms. Echo.
the other one, Echo, to make it more clear is, before any meeting, when you look at the agenda, you can call me anytime, you can call, I would assume
Oh,
any
yeah.
one of us anytime so if there's questions, that's the best way to handle them, would be before the meeting.
No, sorry. Sheila messaged me today and the pairs have a meeting at noon on Wednesday.
For the one-on-ones or the pairs?
Sheila's gathering all the pairs
Okay.
for a pair meeting.
We're getting that's
Thank
what I
you.
mean, we're getting together
Yeah.
Wednesday, we're gonna talk about
Okay.
who's gonna be where, you kinda have an idea of that.
Okay. So if we do have possibly more students that need an IEP with a one-on-one, we
We
will.
would have to float a position. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then what happens if we win and get a 4th grade or a 5th grade teacher? What happens every para?
Then that para would be assigned to other
Otherwise.
duties, yeah.
Because it would be a 1-year contract with all the paras, right? All the class
I-
grade.
Yes.
Actually, doesn't our contract say that if we lose the need for that particular para, we don't have to keep them on? Cause we had a staffing incident a couple of years ago where we had to make a spot for a para that did no longer have a one-on-one. So is that just an administration thing that administration did, or is that something that we're supposed to do?
That's something I'm gonna have to check on.
Okay.
I hope we're in that situation. Just meaning that we get a 5th grade teacher soon.
Any further discussions? Okay, yes, sir.
Well, in the past, we've asked the superintendent like, what the story, I guess it's implied that this is the superintendent's recommendation. that
It is.
You're confident in,
I interviewed the 7 candidates, and these were the top 2. And I recommend them for hiring.
And we've already got them fingerprinted and background check. I know both of them were on our sub list, so I'm pretty sure.
Right, and I've told them both to go through that process again because this, new position, even though they've both gone through the background check before, I just wanted to make sure that they just got it all
Starting fresh.
new and everything.
Okay, Miss Sammy, can we get a show of hands vote?
Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5C, custodian. I cannot pronounce
Custodial.
his name, so
Ingebrigtsen, Mike Ingebrigtsen.
thank you. Can I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve classified custodial position for M. Ingebrigtsen.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, Mr. Ramsey, background on that one?
So we had this position posted for quite a while. We had one applicant, Mr. Ingebrigtsen. He's a local man. We also did have a local company interested in contracting it, and I have received a proposal for that contract.
Okay.
So if something occurs and Mr.
Doesn't
Ingebrigtsen
work out.
doesn't work out, we do have that as an option, but we were getting close to the start, and Dan needs some help, needs somebody there, and so I'm recommending Mr. Ingebrigtsen for this position.
So I haven't seen a classified contract. Is it defined by a total number of hours, or what defines the term of employment?
But it's defined kind of as a set period of time, and they come in with a kind of a lump sum, and we've contracted out the custodial services for as long as I've been here, even longer, probably for a decade or more. We've contracted it out. This is the first time in a while we're hiring somebody. So
You have more control, is what
you do.
Whitesell was saying, when things aren't getting done.
You do have a little bit more control because you can. It's harder to terminate a contract with somebody than it is to let somebody go if need to.
Sub for Dan,
What's that?
and this provides a sub for Dan.
It does provide a sub for Dan
And summertime employment.
in summertime as well.
Okay.
So this would be year-round employment?
But it's still a classified position and we do a
Yes.
yearly contract.
And it's 40-hour
so-
week position.
Yes.
And what did they start out at? Is it what was on the page, or is it a little more depending on experience?
So I'm not sure exactly which salary cell he'll be in.
I've got the classified matrix here opening up.
I can't get anything to open up.
So depending on what grade,
Right.
it would be anywhere between $10.95 an hour and $21.72 an hour.
13 something an hour, grade 2.
Grade 2.
Or
So $13.38.
Yeah, I thought that's what the
Yeah, that's,
advertisement
well, that's what I was
said.
one, 1338 up to 2175.
no, up to 16.
How did is this cheaper than the bid that,
If he stays 40 hours a week or under, it will be cheaper. There's a potential. I mean, if you ask Dan
Overtime.
the amount of time that it takes to do the job to his standards, it could take more than that.
if there's a bunch of overtime?
When there's games.
Like when
Where
there's
there would be the
games.
weekend games, but other normal times, no.
Any further discussion? Can we get a show of hands vote? All in favor?
Motion carries, thank you.
Moving on to item 5C, consider approval of 25-26 substitute list. I see we had a few,
We updated it today,
yeah, we had a few, new ones on here.
yes.
So do we have the
I like that.
updated one to look at?
Yes, that's the,
Oh, it's,
no, the link that you just clicked on, cause the one I had earlier, there's a couple.
yeah, I'm not on the internet,
Oh,
so
sorry.
I've got what was there earlier.
Next is orders to go up
Oh,
here.
okay.
What a new
That's all.
people.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm, I
okay.
like seeing new people.
Oh, Rosa from Trout Creek. The kids love her.
Do they?
Yeah.
I guess I do not
Do
have
the old-fashioned
a
way.
copy in my,
That's okay, Miss,
Would you share
Ramsey
with them?
has one
I
for.
was able
Yeah,
to
it's fine.
pull mine up. I don't know if I was
I was gonna
getting.
say, Heather, you can come and sit over here
Oh.
and you can share my computer.
I guess I'm so used
and
to
you
my
have a
chair.
hard copy in your book.
Oh, yes, sorry, I forgot about the book.
So is it just, the only change was removing the two that are now paras?
We
Yes.
just lined through those. There was another sub for the kitchen custodial that has been removed from the list,
Okay.
and then the new ones added. I found it. Do you want this hard copy, Eric?
No, thank you, I got to look at Mrs. Ramsey's.
Quite a few certified subs now.
Yeah. Is Rob Baines or Vines, is he the one that's helped out? He played the piano once in a while?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he
He's
does
music
music
only.
only.
How are you feeling about the sub list? Do we have enough subs on the sub list?
I
Did
don't
we get a
ever
motion?
have enough.
The most I've ever seen.
I don't remember a motion.
Can we get a motion to approve the substitute list, please?
I make a motion to approve the substitute list.
Second.
Item C.
Public discussion? Board discussion?
Continue.
Thanks, Timothy. Are we where we wanna be with the sub list, or you always want lower scores?
You can always use more.
Probably float in with more new parents.
Alright, can I get any further discussion? Can I get a show of hands vote? All in favor?
Motion carries, thank you.
Can I get a motion for 5D, consider approval 25-26 sports admission prices?
I make a motion to approve this school year's sports admission prices.
Can I get a second?
Second?
Public discussion?
How much are they this year?
Well, they right now is still the same as they were last year. We're, discussing to increase prices and add.
And add.
Any further public discussion? Okay, board discussion. Tammy, it is correct that we, would like to add, junior high sports to our administration, or
Admission prices?
yes. Mr.
Considerations.
Havens, we're on price,
Yep.
do you have any discussion for us?
We're cheap.
Okay.
But we don't wanna kill our community and charge our community. But if you go to Charlotte, it's $10 per person per event. You go to most other schools, that's what's gonna run you. They have, pay to play, even for junior high sports. Charlotte charges $50 per sport, per kid. I mean,
To
we don't wanna kill our community, cause
Right.
if we start doing that, but just realize when you go even to a junior high football game in Clark Fork, you're gonna cost, if there's 3 of you or 4 of you, it's gonna cost you $20
Yeah.
at least. We don't charge for our junior high. I'd love to charge for our junior high.
What were our rates last year?
We can have in front of you.
Adults $7.
Oh, we're not proposing to change that.
No, we
Well,
are.
this is the old one.
This
They're
is the
wanting
old
to-
one. We're wanting
add
to
to it.
discuss our prices so we can either A, leave them the way that they are, B, we can increase them, C, and B, we can add junior high to them.
And how much were we in the hole at the end of last year with ref fees? and all that?
Without taking it from general fund.
How much revenue would we have been able to generate to be in the black with?
For just repping, we paid for about half of the rep expenses out of the gate. The other half had to come out of the general budget. The total expenditures for high school only sports was about $135,000. That's referees, that's
Well,
travel,
right,
that's
right.
hotels, that's meals, that's coaches stipends, that's supplies,
And
You
how
said
much
that
did we
was how
bring-
much, Tammy?
135.
about $135,000.
And what did we bring in through gate fees?
I don't have that number in my head.
I thought you
I
said,
was able to pay for all of football or basketball and baseball officials out of the gate. Volleyball and football were paid for out of the general budget.
And
that was
that's
about 8,000.
usually a little cheaper.
because basketball, now we're gonna have to, for JV, they have 3 refs now this year? Is that the? But not for junior high. Junior high is still 2, correct?
Yeah, junior high will still be 2.
Okay. But we were increasing refs for basketball this year. Okay, from last year.
I don't know if this is off topic for the prices, but I do have an idea and some questions. If it's not the right time, tell me, and when is the right time. So with our hotel rooms, that's a big chunk of money. And when Tate was in Thompson for the wrestling team, they had like a committee of wrestling moms that if we could form a committee and the kids stayed at churches and in schools with sleeping bags, and it saved a ton of money, or they would get host families. I was thinking to take away from that budget, these kids can rough it a little in sleeping bags in a gym. If we can get, I'll volunteer a committee together to call these towns, and then Mr. Havens has an assistant. I thought I would throw it out there because those hotel rooms, looking at the budgets, that's a lot of money. And I don't think there's any reason that, you know,
Thompson Falls only pays for busing for sports. They do not pay for any meals, they do not pay for any hotels.
they don't pay for any hotels. That's why they
Or
do it.
meals.
Or meals.
See,
So-
now we,
I don't
at
know where we
Charter-
started doing these hundreds of dollars of hotel rooms, but you know what, when I was a kid, phew, we threw a tent out. I think we could really cut the budget if there's a place where we can get a few parents together. I'm sure I've got one right over there that would recommend or volunteer for a committee with maybe your assistant, but I think that's a lot of, what would you say we spend on hotels an average a year?
Probably 10,000
It's
So,
a
like,
lot of
between
money.
the different sports.
And it's just tournaments, right? Do we ever have any regular season?
And the only time that during the regular season, if there'd be like a snow out, or, you know, they're confined.
But we do, the one football game, we do stay,
There-
because we go all the, like a long bus ride.
Yeah.
But
It's,
that one,
Yellowstone.
snow
But
out,
we're-
and then we go
But we're
to-
not going to Yellowstone, because we're in a different district this year.
Oh, really? Okay. Do you think that's feasible from your perspective
I didn't know
as
it
our
was Thompson
AD?
didn't pay for any of theirs. I thought it was just wrestling.
Maybe starting out slow, not to sticker price all of our parents all at once, but you know,
Well, like the
don't want to buy the
gyms,
Cadillac all at once.
they just gotta
start out with
spend,
the
send
rims.
food money and then pack a sleeping bag and pillow and a cot. And the gyms usually always let you stay, you've got your shower, your sleeping area. and host families. I don't know, I think it's an idea, and $10,000 is a lot of money. And now we know Thompson doesn't pay for hotels.
I would like to see all of our sports and everything that we pay for hotels and everything to do fundraisers and get parents active in fundraisers and get us where we're not, the district isn't covering everything.
We did some fundraising years ago with like the golf tournament. It ended up costing me money to run the golf tournament. I went in, a couple $1,000. I just ate it. Cause it could, so fundraisers, and I know Mr. MacArthur is doing his fundraiser again. He already told me that today. And I'm not against staying in, but what we'll find out is parents will pull those kids, some kids, and
And stay in a hotel.
they'll go with those parents.
Is that an issue?
It could be when you don't know for sure who's leaving, who's going with who.
Well, yeah, you'd have to, just like last year, Tate was in it, I had to sign him
Yeah,
up.
you signed him off.
He wasn't
Yeah.
allowed to go with, one time, one of them tried to go with a friend and they're like, oh heck no.
Yeah.
But it was a parent had to sign out with
Right.
the coach, you just couldn't go with any Yahoo off the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a parent signing out.
It's something to think about. I know usually this year they're not planning football to stay overnight.
Okay.
They're gonna come home, but that means 2 drivers on the bus.
Well, is it 2 drivers
Because
because
they
of
can
the
only work
link?
because they can only drive so much time during the
Okay.
day. And we push our one single drivers.
Yeah.
We're close. And then we have less drivers, and all of a sudden we need another driver, and it's part of living out here too. Go ahead.
He's our AD, so he's actually a part of the conversation. Sorry, Echo.
No, it's okay.
I would like to see, if we don't do pay to play, when I was growing up, we had ASB cards. Parents bought them, and it's just like the little,
It's an activity card.
yeah,
It gets you into in every kid pays.
You brought
I don't want to
yours.
say every kid.
well, I didn't bring mine because I'm not that nostalgic, but like Jacob's ID card, it was our ASB card. It just said, the school you were from, what year it was. It had to have the current year because you could not use your last year's ASB card to get into.
Right.
But with parents paid $25 for the whole school year, and this would get you into free to every school that we played with. Because it was
home?
yes.
Just at home.
No,
At home.
at home, all the students got in free anyway. Any of our students, even the ones who did not play sports and their parents didn't buy one. But if I went to Selkirk or any other schools like that, all I had to do was bring my ASB card. I got in free. It was something that our
Yeah, that wouldn't go over in our district.
well, I'm not saying that would, but it would help us here because $25 and I played 4 sports. It's not bad. One parent paid $25 for one.
I think I like
sport.
to keep the kids free.
Well, if we keep the kids free, we're gonna have to put some money on the table for the admission prices because coming up with $135,000 a year for sports, for travel, referees, and everything
I
is.
just, even seeing the kids downtown with Jenny's ice cream truck, I dropped $10 by for any kid that came by last Friday, and she said, oh, that's what this boot's for. I think we have a lot of kids here that you don't think about it because our kids may not have it, but a lot of kids here don't have $5.
Right.
So I don't want to see them not come to the games when it's one of the only things they can do in
Because they
town
can't afford it.
because they
Yeah.
can't afford it.
But see, we always got in free. Like, I don't mind, all of our kids here get in free. I don't mind seeing that.
Yeah,
But
that's
for,
what I mean, the kids.
Yeah, and I would like us to charge for junior high games because a lot of parents come out to the junior high games. There's a lot And it does cost us money to clean up and have the refs there and everything.
Especially with football, those are MHSA.
Yeah. So we have a cost on the table
I'm
that
good
we
with charging for junior high games. I like to keep the kids free.
Yeah.
The
I don't
fun.
mind that, and I don't want to see the senior 65 and up go up either, because I
No.
like to see the old timers at the games, and they are really on a fixed income.
So I think it's hard to make a decision without information. We need to know what our deficit was and then what our attendance was, so that we can actually have real numbers to try and look at what we can do, because I think whatever we do, we should be in the black. We shouldn't continue to operate in the red. But without that information, we don't know how much ground we need to make up, let alone how we go about making it up.
So can
I do agree with Mr. Havens, though, that we gotta be careful. I think we are at a time when we want to generate love of school, we wanna generate support, we want people in the stands during games, and so, I personally think we may need to look at a pay-to-play model, or at least have that be one component of this, and I think along with that, we can look at setting up, working and trying to establish a grant program to help the families that wouldn't be able to afford it. But I do think we should table this, or operate on last year's prices until we can get the right information together to understand.
Should we add
but I
junior high games?
was
I
that's
think
what
if
I was
we add
gonna say.
same model, but just let's add like the junior high football that's going to be starting.
Football and volleyball, they're
And
starting
maybe
now.
that'll help us to where we don't have to take this up if the first game shows,
A lot of interest.
or at least it'll give us some more information like what you're asking
Well,
for.
the first is when that first game, those first football game, that's when everybody buys their season
Yep.
passes. So it's hard to look at that first game's income coming in, because it's gonna cover the officials, okay? But then you don't get that any more of that money coming in for the rest of the year. So
Okay.
that first gate, or the first 2 or 3 gates, are gonna be your best ones of the year.
Yeah, because you are right, because that's when I buy my family pass.
You buy a
is
family pass?
The first football game.
Well, no, I mean, I think we quantified 2024, 2025, all of that, and we make a decision based on that. Is that what you're speaking to, or as opposed to trying to learn as we go this year? We
Well,
take-
no, yeah, we can leave it and just add junior high and look at it and come up with a better idea for next year. I mean, we originally set this out in early April, May, but other things.
Yeah, we just had a screwed up year.
But just think and, make sure you're in your brain, oh yeah, we made $5,000 that first game. Well, probably 99% of it was
Family
family
passes.
passes.
So, Mr. Havens, as the AD, what would your recommendation be? How
I
you
would
handle-
recommend that we keep it the same and then add junior high.
I'm good with that. Keep the
And
prices the
keep
same,
your
but add
keep your
junior high.
kids the same. Let them in. Seniors are free.
So if we do that, how hard would it be to also quantify 24, 25 as, the financial side of it, as well as the numbers of everything, so that we can do some math and figure out what it would take to get things into the black in the future?
I don't ever foresee us getting into the black. Okay.
Gate-
I mean, I would love to.
Gate
Give me-
prices will never
Cover
cover all
everything.
sports prices. That
No.
won't even cover the coaches.
But I do
stipends.
have a
But if
suggestion.
it helps cover the officiating costs, that's all we can hope for. The other is part of the general budget. So it's not necessarily in the red. It just uses a whole lot of that budget.
Of the general budget?
Yes.
Are you wondering what the gate price would have to be to cover refs, transportation?
What do you think that need is super
That would
unrealistic?
be unrealistic.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a suggestion to the board, and there's only 4 of us here tonight, so, but my suggestion to the board is that, cause I asked this question and I verified to make sure that it is legal Smeagol. We have a referee and a gate fund. We can fundraise and we can try to help that fund without taking it out of the general fund if we decide to fundraise.
I like to fundraise. It's my jam, and it's fun to do, and I'm totally into fundraising. But I really think that we gotta do something about these hotel rooms, cause I think when I'm on budget, and if I'm taking my family tomorrow and we don't have enough money for the fancy hotel room, we're doing a tent by the river. And I think the kids, kids are just too spoiled these days.
No, I agree. I think we
And
do
if it's
need to take that.
$10,000, that's a huge chunk of money for anybody.
We do need to take that and see what we can do.
And I'm
'Cause
sure all the kids will hate me taking away their
Hey,
hotel
Tammy.
room and Wi-Fi.
BPA and Science Olympia, they fundraise for their hotel rooms, correct?
And their travel and everything.
Okay,
It's 100% fundraised by their club.
okay.
So no football games are calling for a hotel room?
Not this year,
Oh.
but I believe.
So we're
But
good for a
we're
what?
gonna- But we're gonna have to send that second driver,
Yeah.
see, so, I mean,
No.
what you don't spend on the motel, I know you're not gonna spend on the driver, but you're still,
There's still an added expense that wasn't
Yeah.
there last year.
But
But no hotel rooms, so we
driver's-
might even out or come out.
driver's
a
what, a
little bit
couple
up.
$100, but then motel rooms for the football team's probably $1,000. That's what I would
easy,
think.
well,
Yeah,
1200.
1,200. So 200 for another driver. I would rather
Probably
that.
be more than that.
If
'cause-
we were rich people and we
Is
had
it?
lots of money coming in, I'd say get them a room. But if Thompson ain't paying, I don't think we should be paying for him either.
So, are we in agreement that we need to look into this a little bit more?
I
But
think
the
we should.
motion right now, we could approve the gate fees as is, add junior
Junior
high.
high.
At what rates?
The same rates on here.
Well, junior high is not on here.
Well, yeah, but this.
Using the
I-
same rates.
I was
Game rates
thinking,
for,
I was thinking $5 for junior high, cause if we do lower than that, everybody's
For
gonna have
adults?
change. For adults, $5. Free for the seniors, students, or free.
Unless you're out of town, then you pay
And if you're out of town, then you should have to pay, $3.
5 and 3.
5 and 3.
So 5
Do we have any discussion, you guys like those numbers?
5 for adults and 3 for students out of town.
Yep.
65.
Are we going, God,
So for our family passes,
that's cheap.
will the family pass include junior high?
Yeah, it would, so we should
So,
probably look at raising.
$125 for
But not
family
everybody
pass. That's
Have
$25
junior high
for.
and high school.
Well, I would suggest, and this is just a suggestion, of raising your family price, adding junior high, all the sports in there, and adding it and making it $125. Because we have junior high football, we have junior high volleyball, and basketball.
You're probably 15 activities
Okay.
between those 4 things at home. Say 4
Yeah.
per.
For junior high, for a family pass, $125. That sound reasonable, or because I think $150 is a little too much going in this year,
Yeah.
adding it in. But I think it should be at $150, my opinion. But I think sticker shock, we need to sell the rims before we sell the caddy.
Well, I think 150 is a little too much.
No, I think $150 for all 15 activities that they will be coming in for $50 is not bad.
Okay, how much for single person?
Um,
Currently it is $40.
For this, okay, well, now you get to help me on that math. to make
Well,
it
I don't
correct.
love this with the year passes, cause again, it's getting back to keep,
Well,
filling
I'm
the
just trying,
stands.
well, we have to do the year pass if we're gonna add the junior high sports. We need to add the junior high sports. If
Why
we
don't we
add
just-
the,
But we
keep it all
don't
the
have
same.
to increase the year pass.
cause
No.
That
most,
way, we're gonna be picking up the out-of-town people coming into those junior high.
a lot of families are probably one or the other. They're probably following their own kids and maybe the occasional other game.
but I know, but like if I buy my year never mind, cause if I buy my year pass, so I have to still buy for my junior high?
No,
No.
your year
No,
pass is
year
good
pass
for
will
everything.
cover-
So, I mean, and so your
That
year
includes
pass should
junior high
increase
and
because you're
high
gonna have
Mm.
55 activities and you're only paying $125. That's $2 per activity per family per game.
But my point is that most families aren't gonna increase the number of activities they attend.
Yeah,
They're either gonna be going to junior high activities, or they're gonna be going to high school activities. Probably, unless they have kids that are in both, you know?
We can leave it for the family yearly pass and everything, we can leave that one alone until we get more information, I'm fine with that, I was just thinking that we're leaving a lot of money on the table for junior high, so I totally want to add junior high to,
I think we could, I think we should add junior high to make some money off the gate fees, I just don't know about,
messing with the other numbers. Okay.
I feel like family pass.
That's,
So,
that's.
I was thinking
I'm-
about this, what's a family pass, the mom, the dad, and the kids just in the household?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
No grandparents.
So like, right here, if I bought,
Probably senior citizens. Sorry.
yeah, I was just thinking, you know, maybe take the single up to 50, because if I bought a 40 and my husband bought a 40 and our kids get in for free, we're at 80 or 100. So maybe that's what I was thinking, just if you want to be a cheapskate, I'm good at saving a buck, but I wouldn't. So maybe that one I thought did actually need to be taken up to 50.
The
Because that
single.
would,
Yeah,
That makes
single.
sense.
because nobody's
then
really,
if
if
they
it's
buy
not
two, they're just
grandma
buying
that's
them.
included in the family
No,
pass,
they usually fall into the
That's
senior
what I thought.
category.
and most people,
It's a really good point. Usually
It's
you get a discount for the higher quantity
Yeah,
as opposed to.
exactly.
we're kind of
That if I
backwards
was to
here.
buy me a single pass and my husband a single pass, we'd only be in at $80.
Okay, I'm good with that one, making it basically.
I think that makes
And then
it,
we can come back and look at the numbers we have all year until next year, and we can get the actual numbers and.
Yeah, and I wanna
Get a
circle
little
back, cause
close.
I really, next year, this decision should be based on a financial goal. And us actually doing some math and seeing how much ground we're gonna gain, so eyes wide open at accepting, yeah, we're gonna have to pay X number of dollars out of the general fund, but that's our goal, is to raise the funds to meet that level, whatever it might be, as opposed to what I said earlier about being in the black. So that would be my request, is that
And-
when we, ahead of this decision next year, we inform it by the financials and and actually have a goal of what we wanna be, because then we can look at things like different gate fees, pay to play, whatever options might be out there, and see what's realistic to achieve without keeping people at home instead of in the school.
And NFHS and the cameras have cut into a lot of that, so.
Yeah.
People, I mean, you can go watch the game at home.
Yep.
You
Don't
don't
have to
have
get out of
to
my
go.
clothes.
I mean, and then they give you kickback of what, a couple $100 this year? I mean, that's what their kickback was to us.
Yeah. And that's something we have to be part of.
Yes, that's why we're having a hard time getting that camera out there working,
no,
because it's fried. I
Who?
hope it works.
That's through MHSA, I mean.
No, that's, NFHS,
Right, but who requires that we?
MHSA requires you to have that.
How does somebody, I would imagine that this has come up, that this is great, it's awesome, grandparents can't travel, whoever gets to watch their grandkids play, it's a wonderful thing.
Somebody with more money than you and I.
But I mean, there should be recognition that this is taking revenue away from the schools for the
I mean,
reason you just said.
they do realize that, but it's somebody higher up than you and I that have,
But I mean, what arena do you lobby in to try and get change to that?
I understand what you're saying, completely. MHSA, you don't wanna get them too riled up, because then they're always on you're on their radar all the time.
Well, sorry, I'm good, I like the plan that the group arrived at for this year. But, let's just inform it with numbers next year.
Okay, Tammy, just for the motion and the camera, our proposed motion is to up the admission prices for home games at junior high, where adults are $5, students will be out of out of district students will be $3. And then we're going to change our year passes to single from 40 to 50.
And leave the
And
family
everything-
at 100, and will the year passes include junior high events
Correct.
as well
And,
as?
and
Thank
plus
you.
junior high sports. And I spelled that one wrong.
Eric, not to, and then you want to think of the total, like the attendance and the total money,
Yes.
right? And I can track that, that's not a problem.
Okay, yeah, cause I think the bottom line is how much are we needing to pull from the general fund to cover the rest? And I think that as a school and as a board, we should have a goal for what the appropriate amount to come out of the general fund is and try and see how we make up the difference if there is any.
Okay.
And I think some really good ideas have come up tonight of some other ways we can save money, so I think a lot of good things to look at over the next year.
Any further discussion? Miss Tammy, can we do a show of hands vote?
All in favor?
Raise your hands for all in favor.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Miss Tammy. Item 5E, consider approval of the out-of-state fall sports travel. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to consider approval of out-of-state fall sports travel.
Can I get a second?
Second?
Public discussion. Before we go to board discussion, Mr. Ramsey or Mr. Havens?
Every year at this time, you have to, say that you're gonna be traveling out as, then you guys have a chance
Do
to say.
we know how many times we will be traveling out?
We will be going for football to Clark Fork a couple times and volleyball one time, I think. And that's junior high only. It's
Okay.
not high school.
For volleyball and football to Clark Fork for junior
Yeah,
high?
I know that, yeah, I know we're going there for volleyball for sure, and we're gonna do something with them, a little different for football. That's the only out of state that we'll be traveling. And then we do it in the winter and then in the spring.
Yeah, we have to
Do the
get those
same.
approved at the same
Yeah.
time.
that
Okay.
you have to approve.
Board discussion at this time.
They're our neighbors. I think we should continue playing them in sports.
Unless MHSA tells you you're supposed to pay these guys in volleyball
Yeah.
and not play those guys, it's like, why? We're traveling 135 miles versus 35 miles. Why?
Now, realistically, they can tell us that though, right?
Yeah, they say,
They
here's your opponents, you figure out who you're playing, what days you're playing.
Okay.
They don't give you any wiggle room to go play other teams.
And do you foresee that happening or?
Well, this year Superior came back
Okay,
to our district,
Okay.
which cut 2 game, like volleyball matches.
right.
Like we either play Clark Fork or
Don't have those names?
Troy.
Okay,
and
Okay.
now we don't have those this year, so.
okay. Any further discussion? Can we do a show of hands? All in favor?
All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you. Item 5F, consider approval of coaches for the fall sports. I have 3, but only 2 names. So do
Right,
we wanna
there's-
go by,
We don't have anybody yet for,
so nobody yet, we're still
Yeah,
posting
cool.
that one?
still might have somebody who possibly might volunteer.
Okay, but, so A
But
is,
not.
we'll just remove A.
Yeah.
So can we get a approval? Do you guys wanna do B and C together or, okay, so, I need a motion to approve coaches for the fall sport of junior high football. And is she only gonna do high school fall concessions or is she gonna
Well,
do
'cause it's
concessions
split.
at all?
It's 2 different,
They're separate contracts, so
Okay.
there's a fall and there's a winter, so we'll
Okay.
do this again in the winter.
Okay, thank you. For junior high football, Ian Brown, and then C is high school fall concessions, Miss Sheila Brown. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve item 5F, B and C, junior high football and high school fall concession.
Can I get a second?
A second.
Public discussion? Mr. Ramsey. Oh, wait, hold on. Yes, ma'am, Echo?
And so there'll be a fall vote and a winter vote, and they talked last year about Mr. Whitesell, about adding spring concessions for baseball season. Is that still not a thing?
Probably. Yeah, we'll have to put that in.
Okay, I just asked
Maybe
because
you're right.
PTO has done it for the last 2 years, so I just wanna be thinking ahead if that's gonna be an option to Sheila or not, or if I need to be thinking ahead.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Mr. Ramsey.
Oh, we need a junior high football coach. And, Ian would be a good fit. Played here, came up here. And
We're still looking for another assistant to goes with it,
Okay.
you know.
And was super excited when he heard Ian was gonna be the coach. He
And
said-
we need an assistant for junior high? The
Yeah,
numbers?
because of the amount of kids and,
Okay.
and, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
The little guys running amok.
well, yeah, and you 4 eyes in football is always so much better than 2, for sure.
And Sheila did concessions last year, and she did a great job with it.
Okay.
Glad to have her back to it.
Alright.
Other than that, you're full for fall coaches? Or you've got them, we're all,
Just, well, we have high school volleyball and junior high football.
Yeah, because we don't have the
Assistant.
volleyball
Assistant.
assistant.
Right.
for high school.
remaining to be filled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remaining to be filled.
Yeah.
What does the high school assistant, do they get paid?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they make?
1,800.
Out of curiosity, while we're talking about sports, if somebody is interested in becoming a coach, you just email you. Okay, thank you.
And then I send it off to Tammy and we.
Yep. Nope.
Yep.
I've been asked about other sports that aren't on the list yet, so I just wanted to verify and make sure I give them the right information. Okay, can I get a show of hands vote? All in favor?
All in favor, motion carries.
I request a 3-minute recess.
Can we have a 3-minute recess, taking a break at 7:29? Okay, we're gonna come back from break at 7:33.
Noted.
Thank you. Item 5G, consider approval of elementary out-of-district enrollment. I'm not with my binder.
Would you like a motion?
I would, sorry, I'm ahead of myself again. A motion, please?
Motion to approve elementary out-of-district enrollment.
Can I have a second?
I second to approve elementary out-of-district enrollment.
And a public discussion. Okay, Mr. Ramsey.
We have several out-of-district enrollments for the elementary. You want that?
Did you have?
Should have the updated list. Why is my stuff so out of order? Amber, it's in your black binder. Yes, that one is the correct one.
Okay, yeah,
So 19,
Yes, it's in the red folders.
just don't say nothing about it.
19 that are 8th grade and below, and 4 high school.
Question, do we
And
have?
it is just, oh, I'm sorry, Kyra. It's
Sorry.
just the ones in yellow that have not already been approved.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
purple has already been approved.
Can you remind us how funding flows with out of district students?
So with out-of-district students, and this was just new last year, so this is the first year for out-of-district students coming here, the district of residence has to pay us out of their tuition fund for every student who comes this direction. For all of our out-of-district kids who go to another district, we pay them. That is reflected in the budget and, that is part of the tuition fund, part of the budget, and then you make an adjustment in the general budget for it when you're entering the information into the OPI system.
Susan?
So for the kids who came here to our school last year, say from Trout Creek, the Trout Creek school will not pay us until this year, so it's always like a year behind.
Do we know how many kids we have that we're gonna have to pay on this year going out?
This year, we don't,
Or-
we don't know
You
this
don't
year.
Last year, I guess,
Last year,
But I know
we
that's in
paid
that area.
out,
for,
That information is in the folders
it's in there,
last
it's in the
month.
folder, I wanna say it's. I think it's 60 something,
was it, how many kids?
oh, how many kids?
I think we only had 5 or 8 that we were paying for Thompson. One,
Cause I know we lost 2 or.
Three
Just-
to Trout Creek.
thank you.
We tried to-
And then we had that one way out of state.
And we don't pay if it's Idaho, right? So we don't have to pay for kids.
No.
I do know what went out versus what is coming in, we're actually bringing in some money.
Can somebody help me? I'm trying to imagine a scenario or a reason that a board would deny, like maybe if we were getting up against a class size limit or something, why we would
To
Ever
out
not
of district,
support
it's
this?
usually an overcrowding issue.
overcrowd.
Like,
We're not there.
per se, our 4th and 5th grade, if it was gonna be like 40 kids and we're combining those, we may
Right.
have to look at that and say,
But
Right.
our superintendent does get to look at their transcripts, and if there is something in their transcripts out of,
That is, you know, this kid has a major discipline issue, that sort of thing.
Like if we thought they were a threat to the other students or
We can
something.
deny that.
yes.
And you found none of the above?
No.
Any further questions? Okay, can I get a show of hands vote with Trout Creek sustaining? All in favor?
Knoxon trustees, all in favor, Trout Creek trustees abstaining.
Yes, ma'am. Can I get a motion for item 5H, consider approval of the high school out-of-district enrollment?
Make a motion to approve the high school out of district enrollment.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Public discussion? Mr. Ramsey?
Again, out of district high school students, no red flags on any of those. And those districts pay us.
Is this a returning student from last year? Just out of curiosity.
It's a returning student, yes. The bottom of the list.
Yep. Any further discussion? Can I get a show of hands vote? All in favor?
All in favor, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5I, consider approval of the 4-year-old students. Can I get a motion to approve the 4-year-old students?
I'll make a motion. Can I do that as a Trout Creek person?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, yeah, I make a motion to consider approval of the 4-year student.
Can I get a second?
I second the motion to approve the 4-year-old students.
Public discussion? Board discussion, Mr. Ramsey?
We have, I think it's three, right? We're 3 4-year-old students for the pre-K program. And, happy to have that program back.
So we've approved the program, why do we have to approve the students?
We have a policy.
What policy?
That is
to
part of the
approve.
count day requirements, that when the child is under 5, by the date of September 10th, that you have to have a board approval date. So then it ties in with the approval of the pre-K
Oh,
and stuff.
these
So
are
when-
approval into kindergarten as opposed to the preschool program or pre-K program?
It is part of the pre-K. Anytime a child is under the age of 5 by September 10th, you have to have approval.
Even when you have a pre-K program?
Yes.
So are these 3 to be placed in pre-K or are they seeking placement in kindergarten?
These are seeking placement in pre-K.
Okay.
One of the children is 5, but it is the parents' recommendation that they be placed in the half-day program, the pre-K program.
And have they all been evaluated? Is that part
Yes.
of the, and the recommendation from those evaluations
Is 4-year-old program.
I thought that Miss Broadmarkle was teaching kindergarten, but she's listed here as the pre-K teacher.
She's doing both.
She's doing
It's both with para support.
Thank you.
So sorry, this is the total that is currently enrolled in or wanting to enroll in
Mhm.
pre-K?
We usually get a couple more once they realize that we actually offer it. Or we have in the past, I should say.
Yeah, did we?
And there needs to be the testing, so if they're just now coming in saying, hey, we would like to do this, now we have to wait for that testing process, a recommendation from that. And then we will probably bring in this to the board again for future, more students.
How does one get how do we go about getting the word out about, especially with a new program, to parents in the community of 4-year-olds?
Well, I mean, pretty much word of mouth, but I can add it to
So-
the welcome back
Mhm.
parent email.
I just think this goes along really well with the grant and what we're trying to do with literacy, trying to get more kids in the door for pre-K.
Can we have a flyer made up that we can, I know tagging along with something else on the agenda, but, for the information part of it, I can put it on the board, people.
We can make up a flyer.
And if we make up a flyer, I can post it to my personal, and then we can post it around on Facebook too. And then, cause that's free advertisement right there. And our, post offices, that's all free for us to do there. We can post it on our website too. Would you like more than that?
I just asking a question. I
No,
think
no,
it's
no,
good to try to
I'm
get
just
the word.
asking, do you think, like, is there anything else you were thinking of?
No, I think it's good that we promote it now that we have it, and just wondering what we're doing and if we could do more.
Any further discussion? Show of hands vote, all in favor?
Knoxon
Yes, sorry.
trustees only. And motion carries with Rock Creek trustees abstaining.
And moving on to item 5J, approval 24-25 trustee financial reports. We're gonna start with A, with the elementary trustee financial report. Can I get a motion?
Motion to consider approval of the 24-25 trustee financial report for elementary.
Can I get a second? I second. Okay, board, or public discussion? Board discussion. Mr. Ramsey or Miss Sammy, can you guys give us a little background on this one?
This is an area where my understanding is emerging.
As well as mine, but I do know a little bit. So what the trustees' financial summary is telling you is how last year's funds were spent by fund. So when you say, look at page 3 of it, the 01 column is your general fund. And then it goes across to transportation fund, and then it breaks out what your cash was. Line 2 is your taxes receivable, so that's taxes that have not been paid in yet, which should be part of your budget, but yet you cannot spend it because it's not guaranteed those people are going to pay their taxes, so you have to make that adjustment in there. And then the columns flow through telling what deferred inflows are, what the total assets and other debits, and then what the fund balance was at the end. You always want those balances, fund balances to balance with your total assets. Ours do. And when you enter your information into the OPI system, anything that is not 100% correct, you get big red flags, and you have to go back, you have to look at your coding, make sure all your coding strings are correct on how every piece is spent and received. And it will not accept your trustee's financial summary report until there is no red warnings whatsoever. So it is a very long process. They're very particular about their coding. Because with school accounting, you have funds, you have programs, you have functions, you have objects, and you have program or project reporter codes. So for every dollar that comes in and dollar that comes out, you have to do all 4 of those sections coding correctly, whether it is for sports, whether it is for instructional, teachers age first teachers on their wages.
May I ask a question, Tammy?
Yes.
So when I'm looking at some of these different funds, you know, like miscellaneous enterprise fund or purchasing internal service fund, and there's nothing in there, that's just something that's required by OPI.
That is required,
Okay.
so if there's nothing in there, we do not have
Right,
a fund that we have to deal with.
thank you.
Because these reports, I think, also probably fall into county, city, state.
Sure.
Now, Tammy, this has to, what do we have to have in by August the 15th?
That is, as trustees' financial summary needs to be submitted to the county superintendent by August 15th, and then she has to submit it into the state.
Okay, so, but then the budget report says the Board of Trustees adopts final budget no later than August the 25th.
That is correct.
Okay, so we
So
approve
they're
it.
2 separate things.
Okay. Okay,
'Cause
So
this
there
is
should-
the trustees' financial summary saying, this is how last year's monies were received, were spent, how they were spent, and were you within your budget authority?
So
okay.
in theory,
About
there
the
is
funds.
0 subjectivity. This is just an accurate accounting of the numbers. And our job is to make sure that it is accurate and that it is and that it's submitted
And
properly.
that it's being submitted on a timely manner.
And I mean,
And what the process that Tammy goes through, like she was explaining, they won't let you
Right.
go ahead unless it's accurate.
So I did pull the instructions for this. I was reading through them, and that kind of gives you an outline of what all you need to do to prepare to fill this out. And so there's nothing in there where you could have transposed a number when you were pulling it for something. That
It
would
won't
all.
let you, because it compares with your revenues that go through the county, it compares with the claims and the revenues that go through or the expenditures that go through the county, so it's like a check and balance system between the state, the county, the school. And then the auditors come in and then maybe, like 1 year, student accounts were not reported correctly. And it was, we had more money in the account at the end of the year than what
Yep.
we put in there.
And I apologize. My first meeting last year was September, so I didn't take part in this process last
Right.
year.
I didn't
Um,
much either.
So trying to understand the role of the board in ensuring accuracy seems kind of, I mean,
It does, doesn't it?
how do you,
Right.
I just don't know how, other than sitting beside you as you're populating it, I'm not really sure how,
We would know.
and I probably sound really dumb right now, but I don't know how we would ever,
Well, they would not let
validate all
me
these
print
numbers.
this report if it was not acceptable to the state
Right, and
reporting
also,
procedures.
right, and then, but the audit, we will have an audit on these numbers this
In
school-
February.
Yeah,
Yes. And generally, if there is gonna be an audit, finding is, okay, we had money coming in from a kitchen grant that we were not aware of, and we didn't report it as a due from other governments,
okay,
that type of deal. I double checked all of those things, any due from other governments, all of that kind of stuff, as thoroughly as I can.
I was,
with,
sorry.
with the state sites where you can go and you can check, okay, where are your food payments? We have food payments that have not came in from May yet, as of June 30, so then you report that as a due from other government.
oh, okay,
So like in section 12, Fund 12, it would show a due from other government.
That's right, cause I
in
saw
that
like
column.
the Chromebooks in here would have been a other, right? I saw you had those in here somewhere.
Good lord, that's a huge. I don't believe the Chromebooks would be listed as a due from other governments, cause we received that money for those, but it
Yeah, I
would
was
show
gonna say
as
that
an
was part of the
expense
grant.
through.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
I know this is gonna sound crazy,
No,
it really is, and you might not know, Tammy,
What
but.
page are you looking at?
I'm looking at elementary and I'm looking on the page 15 of 42.
Okay,
It says interest earning from 2024 we had 1,600, but in 25 we jumped up to $7,392. Why was that? What made our interest go up so much?
I guess the county made better investments, because that is totally through county.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with us, it is how the county funds are invested, and possibly, and I believe as far as interest earnings, that is across the board county, and then it is split up.
Okay.
So it's all county monies combined and then split accordingly.
Well, somebody did some fine investments.
Yes, they did,
Props to them.
yeah.
It's just a big increase.
So can you, what is the place I saw the Chromebooks and a lot of it's the project reporter summaries? On page 28, Tammy,
Okay,
what is that? So I assume this is essentially grants or donations and showing how much we brought in versus how much we spent?
That is correct.
And then what happens to any unspent dollars?
Then it stays in that project reporter code fund within, Fund 15.
So we could buy a couple more Chromebooks
Yes.
or the 18.
That is correct.
Does it have to go to, well, never mind, cause this is elementary, it would not work for what I was thinking anyway, thank you though.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, I'm following along on whatever page you guys ask questions on to learn. What's Mason's donations? 106 on
I
the
was
same
gonna
page
ask the
28.
same thing.
So Mason's donations, was the club, and I don't really know what Mason's clubs were, but a lot of these old clubs, the Elks Club.
And it's coming out of the Mason's Club. Phelps Falls.
So we also received recently a donation from the Masons of $10,000.
Oh, from the Masons.
Masons.
The
okay.
Masons.
Okay,
It's
not a
not
person.
a Mason.
So is
No.
that 700 money that they donated to us specifically, or all this?
They donated that specifically, and that was donated at least 5 or 6 years ago,
Oh.
and that was part of that Bikes for Books program. They were the ones who always funded that, and then when they disbanded, then they donated a set amount to the school, and I'm thinking it was back in 2016 or 17, and it was like $8,000, so it is in a separate fund by itself with that project reporter code. So then each year when they are doing the Bikes for Books, the reading incentive type programs, those expenditures come out of that donated money. So that's why it shows there are no revenues that come in, because that revenue
so what
came
is-
in years ago.
Okay, so does the minus mean it's already spent and now it's to zero?
The difference between your revenue and expenditure is that amount, but it's, the money is still in
Okay.
there. They're just
It's just
earning
carried
current
over from a previous year.
revenues this year.
Okay.
They are revenues that came in previous years.
No, I need to come up with what that project number is.
Okay. Miss Tammy,
Yes,
same page, 23-24 down there, we revenued $48,000, we expended $1,500, we ended up with $46,822, what was that for?
that is, so Project Reporter Code 24 was used for a variety of different grants.
Okay,
Turns out I should not have been using the same Project Reporter Code for all the different grants.
okay,
So then we had to change some of those expenditures
okay,
to the 2225 Project Reporter Code.
So that's lumping all the federal grants that we brought in basically those years.
Yes.
okay, so we're still in a deficit, cause 46 and 51 don't match up, so.
You're really not in a deficit, it was just the difference between
What page are
the
you on?
revenues that came in
28,
versus the
42.
expenditures that went out.
The one that you just had
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Masons.
Then you said,
So how do you keep track of that balance for the, when we have these revenue 5 years ago?
Well, luckily, your reports will let you drill down and just pull Project Reporter Code expenditures. Your different grants have different coding, revenue coding amounts that come in, as well as expenditure coding. So you can say, okay, I wanna look at all of this year for everything Title I. And then it will break it out, salaries,
And then how do you,
supplies.
is any of this like use it or lose it in a time frame when we're in the grant realm?
Yes, all grants are a use it or lose it, and, like the title grant runs until the end of September, and you have to have all of that money expended by that time, or you lose it.
Right.
So you really have to watch where your totals are all the time, and you also cannot over expend your grant monies.
Right.
So-
The ESSER 3, we still have almost $2,000 in there, and do we have that like designated for something?
That is part of that coding. There was some coding issues that we are
Okay.
cleaning up, and that's kind of what was holding me up today
Okay,
on getting these reports submitted.
so there might not be the 1943 in there and once.
That's just a difference
Oh,
of
so
saying, these are the revenues you brought in, but you only expended 7,000 within this time frame.
Right,
So the money has been spent,
okay,
but it may have been a previous year, and that's what it was, is I had to do a prior year adjustment in order for
okay.
this to be accepted, because it was from a prior year, the 22-23
So
school year.
if we did have any ESSER money left over,
We do not,
okay.
we have expended it, and that deadline was
Right,
last fall,
okay.
and we went right to the penny, expended, received all of the funds.
Well, that's what we were supposed to do.
Exactly. And now with these prior year adjustments I did, that brings us right where we need to be. Grants are not fun, they are almost a full-time job in itself when you were talking big grants.
You mean manage them after obtaining them?
Yeah.
Or,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, talking to the auditors after the ESSER grant, there were many clerk positions open. It's like, nope, done,
Wow.
don't wanna deal with this?
yes. And I,
Sounds like you
Feel.
should have some clerical support.
we need some clerical support. We've got a big grant that's gonna take a lot of time.
Mhm.
This is way more fancy than my budget at home. Me and my highlighters have a good time at home.
So this
And
is,
then not only do you have to break it out by high school, elementary, elementary is two separate schools. It is a junior high school and an elementary school, so you'll have to break every expenditure out. How much went towards junior high kids and how much went towards this. By percentage, by ratio, how many kids? Yeah, it's very intense.
so this is due Friday. When is
To the
the,
county.
yep,
Yes.
to the county, when is the 26th budget is due on the 25th, is that correct?
I believe that's what Amber.
So we have
Yes,
we have longer for that one than
Yes.
we do for.
Yes,
yeah, I think we need to push that one. Maybe.
yeah, if you wanna wait and look it over and,
Cause I'm thinking about two things, I mean, recognizing this what is what it is, I could probably be comfortable approving this component tonight. But if we were gonna meet again in 48 hours, it would not hurt to save it for that night, just so we do have a little more time to
Do we
look
have to
through
do it
it.
in 48 hours?
That's what he's saying. If we do it in the 48 hours, that would give us time to actually still within the timeline that Tammy has to submit these. So if we want to do it in 48 hours, we can do that with being on our deadline.
So this one is due, the
15.
trustee financial summary is due Friday, is the reason I ask, but the 26 budget is due 10 days later.
right.
Yeah,
So if you waited,
Just
if
wanna
you did the TFS tonight, then you wouldn't have to do another board meeting.
Not in 48
Not
hours.
Not this week.
Not this week, you could
Could
wait
do-
till next week.
And that would be nice to have,
that part done and out of the
To
way and be
have-
able to,
to maybe come together again in a week or a little more even.
I'm good with that.
Cause I would sure like to sit down and pester Tammy for a little while on the 26 budget as well as do some more homework.
Sure.
But I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels about that, but recognizing that this has all the checks and balances. I mean, without pulling the books and having Tammy show us the books, I don't know how we validate any of these numbers. It's an accounting practice. It's not,
Mhm.
I guess I have some learning to do on what trustee best practices are with regard to this, but
Basically, if you want to keep all your payroll and claims and know where it goes, you can do it, but it would take some serious time when you're, like, you'd have to run the same software that she runs.
yeah, I mean, I think realistically, right, Tammy, we'd basically have to look over your shoulder to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be with me every day,
Right.
all day long. Fun times.
Well, I guess I would ask you this, recognizing this was a crunch and you've been working hard and scrambling, are you feeling confident in everything?
I am, yes. I was on the phone with the gals from OPI today, with other clerks, and contact with the auditor as far as what is the best, how to proceed with that, being it was a prior year adjustment that needed to be made in order for the state to even accept this report. Cause it was saying, wait a minute, this number and this number, there's this much difference, how come? And it was from a prior year issue with ESSER reporting.
How, so you didn't do this alone last year?
I didn't do it at all last year.
Who did it last year?
Heather did it for me last year. Last year when this was being done, I was in Spokane with my mom.
So this is the first time you've ever done it?
Yes. It's fun.
Well, thank you and good job.
Yeah.
I know, cause you got numbers
And
what
I
day?
did have support. Jennifer McPherson came and assisted me with some, taught me, different steps and so, yeah. It's
I mean,
a process.
It's a big burden in a short order issue,
Yes.
but you're feeling
did it
good
the year
about
before?
everything?
The year before was Mary Smith.
Yep.
And she was like a consultant, a trainer as well, and I was with her through it,
Learning.
but there again, everything moves so fast, and you do it once a year, and then they change everything on you.
So was Heather classified staff last year, or did we contract it out
She
for
was a
support?
substitute
Okay.
for
And we
me,
just
so
subbed
she
her
was like,
in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
yes.
Tammy, I don't see, do I need to sign, hopefully not the one that you give me in my red folder because I highlighted.
That's fine, I have clean copies.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna sign it if we approve it tonight to make sure that you
Well,
can-
you're gonna be in tomorrow for the
Yes,
other
ma'am, I am.
signature, so we can take care of it then,
Okay.
and I'll get it sent over to Elise.
Okay, what's early?
9-ish?
Okay, that works. Oh, Maddie has to get up early.
Are you ready for
Any
a
further
vote?
discussion, any
Sure.
further questions on the trustee financial summary for 24-25 elementary? Okay, if we can do a show of hands vote with Trout Creek trustees sustaining, abstaining, sorry.
Okay, those in favor? Motion carries, thank you. Trout Creek trustees abstaining.
Thanks for all your hard work, Tammy.
Yes,
You
thank you.
betcha.
Can I get a
Thanks a lot.
motion to approve the trustee financial summary 24-25 for Knoxon High School?
Motion to approve the 24-25 trustee financial report for high school.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Public discussion? And board discussion. So,
1 second. So one thing that surprises me with budget, Sammy, is how close elementary and high school are.
That's what I was just looking at.
Can you help understand that at all?
I don't understand it. Except you do get more A and B funding for high school kids than you do elementary kids. And I think that takes into account, okay, they're doing more sports, they're doing more
And then I
computer
suppose-
classes, they're doing the shop, the VOED.
And then some of the funds financially are just a 50-50 split anyway, right? Because it's a shared facility? Or is that not accurate?
That's really not accurate, and then that's when you get into the budget piece of it, you see how that's all worked out.
Okay. Yeah, I was just surprised how similar they are.
Right. one to look at? Mr. Havens? No? Sure?
Yeah.
You don't have to. Let's see. Let's see my others. They're kind of looking through the high school right now. There's all of it if you wanna.
So Tammy, is there not the project reporter summary that we asked so much about? I'm not seeing that in the high school one.
There should be, but there is not nearly as many funds that go through the, high school miscellaneous fund, so you don't have much for project reporter quotes. But there should be kind of the same page, just not as long, so it might not have its own page.
Okay.
15. To pages 22, 23.
Oh, so it's,
So project reporter codes are almost always with your miscellaneous fund, your fund 15s, whether it's 115 or 215.
okay.
So in the high school, it's pages 22 and 23.
So our wood resale, that only goes into the high school fund, not the elementary, it's not split between the two?
No, that one is not split between the two. The monies that came in for that was from the welding program that was done, with Mr. MacArthur, Mr. Mercer. He is a qualified certified
Mhm.
instructor.
Correct.
And so being part of that program with, what is it, Flathead Community
Yes.
College up in Kalispell, they actually receive funds to support that program
Oh,
from
okay.
the college, so those monies go into the miscellaneous fund. And we already had a woods resale
Yeah.
project, because then when kids are doing projects and they're
Okay.
paying for some of the more expensive materials, things
Right.
like that, that comes into this fund.
Okay, for some reason in my head it clicked that we cut the logs and stuff and I couldn't remember what year we did.
That
I
has
thought
nothing to
that's-
do with this, nope,
Thank
this is
you.
100% shop class.
Okay, thank you, that makes more sense, cause now I'm on the same page.
So then
with
those
you.
funds that come in through 215 for like woods resale, that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, then when supplies are purchased,
It
I
comes out of that.
pay for some of the supplies out of that
Okay,
fund.
thank you.
Just,
So the detail expenditures, they're showing what was spent by semester essentially, because it says the 24 value and then the 25 value is the next column.
which page are you on?
Like 39 is one example.
Oh, yes,
So it's basically breaking out by semester, or
by
by
year,
calendar year.
by calendar year,
Okay.
then it's by funds, accounts, functions, and then objects, or all them 1X's and X's and that all mean something.
So you're on page 39, you said?
Yeah.
Where it says like teachers' aides, 2024 it says 0, and then 2025 it says 38,495. Can, just for clarification, I'm trying to learn this as we go.
The teachers' aides' salaries were just combined with all of the instructional salaries the previous year. That is something we had to look into, why didn't we have any, yes. And you can combine all salaries like that, we just chose to break it out a little more.
So for that one that Kyra's asking about, that what's in the 2025 column is actually the sum of the 24 and 25, is that correct?
Nope,
No,
24 is 24 values. 25 values are this year's values.
so there was no expenditures for teachers' aides in,
Or,
There was in 24, but rather than have them reported separately, because if you look over at the column, you have 112, 112, 117s.
yep,
You can lump all of your 1-1 expenses together, then it would be called a 1-1X.
so where are those funds lumped into on here?
For the 24 value, all classified teacher salaries and teacher aide salaries were all included in the 112 expenditures, rather
Okay.
than broke out by the 117 coding expenditures.
So,
so why was the 24 portion of the school year substantially longer than 25? Are there more school days in 25, I guess I would assume?
What do you mean?
Well, the 24 value is much lower than the 25 value. So there are more days of school year after the new year than there are prior to the new year?
This has nothing to do with actual new year. This
It's
is
their-
fiscal years,
Yeah, it's-
school fiscal
So
years.
when we start
24
school-
means
24, 25?
23, 24.
Oh, thank you.
25 means the
24,
24, 25 school year. It's
Thank
very confusing.
That makes a lot. So when this was done last year, those numbers were lumped, and
Yes.
that's why
Yes.
you carried it over and reported it that way here. But this year you chose to actually break it out.
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, school year, calendar fiscal year are so different. It's really hard to,
Well, I must have misinterpreted when I asked that first question about is that one
Right.
semester versus the other, but no, it's
and
a
I
calendar year.
misunderstood your question.
I got it now.
Okay.
What was machinery and equipment? Big amount.
what page?
The
42.
42. Is that our kitchen line, or would that have been last year's?
That kind of rolled into a couple of years.
Okay.
It's the down payment, then the final payment, and the final expenditure, and you got the ESSER money, you didn't get the ESSER money, you had to pull everything together. So
Okay.
it kind of crossed years and lines. So a portion of that was, like the final payments
Okay.
for that, but that would also include, okay, we need repair parts for the lawnmowers for the tractors.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not just one particular.
Okay.
It's kind of lumped.
What is historical cost? What is that?
So this piece that you're looking at here is your fixed assets and the depreciation.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe
So it's
we were
historical cost, here
historical.
it is, and this is how much it depreciated over the year. But then when you have new equipment come in, then that's where you make your adjustments to show the value of this.
Okay.
But the big negative numbers are, that's how much depreciation is there is on those other things that just depreciate every year. And that is a set rate
Yeah.
spreadsheet, a whole formula.
Hopefully
Once
it's
again, I
better than
reached
car
out to the
insurance.
auditor to make sure those numbers were accurate, and that is part of a spreadsheet that we do every year with our, audit.
Yeah.
So I actually attached a spreadsheet and said, help, how do I find these numbers? So he made the adjustments and said, okay, these are your numbers.
Okay.
So I'm very, very grateful to our auditors, they've been a lot of assistance with this process.
So this would also be I guess we'll see it in the 26th budget, but the sum of from the two reports for the building reserve fund would be, that's what we have total right now for like the roof,
I'm kind of guessing no,
like in the beginning.
because if you look at your budget report, say for high school, we have two building reserves. We have the one that was a voted, building reserve fund, and it was voted back in 1999, 2000, and it was a set amount, it was a taxpayer voted levy. That money is sitting in there, but your building reserve fund that you have to work with every year, you say, okay, we think it's gonna be this much, and there's a certain number that you put in that then gives you the most state match, and you always try to find that sweet spot as far as the number to get the most in state match, because then you are not asking your local taxpayers for as much.
Right.
Then whatever you don't spend of that, minus what you can hold in reserves, is reappropriated to your taxpayers every year.
Oh, so there's a
so
maximum
it is
balance
a-
that you can
It is
carry.
a reappropriated fund, and then every year you start again, and find that sweet spot with the state, which they increased it substantially this year,
How much you
as
can
far as
carry
their
over.
funding,
Oh, how much
and
that
how
match?
much you can budget for.
Okay.
And the numbers we've got pulled in there is we get the max match from the state. So then not as much as being asked of your local taxpayers.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not real great at explaining.
No, you're doing great.
Yeah, but if you look, okay. Page 2 of your budgets, it kind of breaks it out.
Yep.
Yes, that table. In some budgets you can keep a reserve in, and others you cannot have a reserve, an operating reserve, but the goal is always to have your maximum operating reserves. So, but that's another time for the budget meeting.
Any further discussion? Miss Amy, can we get a show of hand vote, please?
So
All in
those
favor? Tyler, all in favor?
Okay, all in favor, motion carries. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, I didn't, that sounded
I
like
was
I was forcing you to
organized
do-
even in my own thoughts.
Alright. Alright, so, Tammy, if the majority of the board wanted to, table K, can I just ask for a table and we don't even have to go through this and discuss?
That is correct.
Would you guys like to
We can choose
discuss
to
any
table
questions that you have
Items
now?
K.
I think we should open a motion so that we can talk about it a little bit
Okay.
and come up with a game plan of, yeah, I guess I have a few questions I would like to ask.
Prior to the meeting that we'll have for it.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. I need a motion for item 5K, approval of the 25-26 budget. We're gonna start off with A, elementary budget.
I make a motion to approve 25-26 K elementary budget.
Can I-
Second.
You're good. Public discussion. Board discussion, open it up for discussion.
One question, Tammy, would it be possible, I think one outcome that's important is how this will affect district mill levies, and last year you had prepared the sheet that compared the previous year to the present year. Would it be easy to put that together again prior to?
Right, rather than have them on two sheets, you want a comparison one sheet, cause I did provide you
No.
with that.
You did? Oh, that's what you just handed us in person.
Yes, that was that.
Never mind, thank you very much.
And so it'll say fiscal year 2025, so that was last year, so that would be school year 24-25. And that is what the budgets were last year. And this new one is on page 2, the same type of spreadsheet, and it'll be for fiscal year 2026.
So we were at 91 mills last year and looking at 83 essentially this year, 82.9.
Yes.
Do we know why we're decreasing?
Well, if you look at your comparisons between each of your funds, so your general last year, we were at 53.8 and it's down to 47.
Okay.
This year, and that has a lot to do with the state funding, the quality educator matches. A lot of things factor into that we really have no control over. That is set by the state. And then if you look at pages 3-7, the state breaks out all the different funding components.
Okay.
So quality educator, that's the STARS Act.
And that is
component.
the STARS Act, yes.
So part of it is we're receiving more money for A&B through the STARS Act.
Correct, for your quality educators,
Yeah,
your
right.
certified teachers and staff, whether it's superintendent, principal, clerk, then you get X amount of funding for having quality people, because it is getting so hard to find certified and qualified staff for any school position anymore.
Yes.
So this is the state's way of saying, hey, if you can and you gotta pay them more, great, we understand, here's some funding to help with that.
Yep.
Then transportation and your mill values, and that is that shown in this report? It's on the front page of the budget report. Your taxable valuation is your mill values. Elementary last year was 8,000 something, it is down to 7,000 this year. But even with the mills being valued at less, we are still asking for fewer mills from the taxpayers. And kind of overall across the board, whether it be the general fund, transportation, the state is now kicking in more on transportation reimbursement, so we don't have to ask the local taxpayers for as much for transportation expenses.
So it looks,
Tammy, on the tuition part, for 24-25, we were at 26,000 and we're projecting 73 on the
So
school
I
year.
would say you are probably looking at a high school versus an elementary. So last year for elementary, we were at 92,000,
Thank you, Tammy.
and that is
Makes more
based
sense.
on your one-on-one paras, because paras, in-district paras can be paid out of the tuition fund.
Okay.
So then you're not taxing your general fund so much when you have a lot of
So it
those
looks
paras,
like we're gonna
those needs.
tax everybody less
Exactly,
this year.
yes.
How many pairs did we have last year?
We had 5.
We had
It's
five.
gonna make
We
everybody
had
happy.
5. But they're in-district kids. If they're out-of-district kids, then now with this new tuition fund, if we have one-on-one kids here that reside in Trout Creek has to pay us the difference of the cost of having that kiddo. It's more than just a kiddo who's in a general classroom.
Yep.
And so this number for Knoxon Elementary for this year, that amount includes what we are anticipating for one-on-one in-district children, as well as what we have to pay for out-of-district kids from, who attended last year.
Right.
So within that elementary piece, that amount also includes what we have to send over to Trout Creek for children who went to Trout Creek. And then in high school, it's for kiddos who went to Thompson Falls.
So a lot of, is it easy to summarize? A lot of this budget, like you mentioned, it is what it is. There's not a decision to be made, but there are some elements where there are some decisions to be made.
That is correct.
Is it easy to summarize that for us? Which pieces?
Adult ed is something that is totally, can be decided on by the board. You can choose to not have adult ed, to cut it back, to make it great big and ask for even more money for it. And pretty much how we have been running adult ed is, we put it out there, teachers wanted courses, come to us, are you interested in teaching? And everybody who's interested in teaching anything, as long as they have 5 students, it's great, let's do it. We have not needed the full $14,000 for many years. So every year, about half of that money from adult ed is reappropriated to the taxpayers. So, like looking at this year for the 26 budget that I'm looking at, of the 14,000, and we're keeping 4,900 in reserves. So if for some reason people didn't pay taxes, we still can make wages or whatever. We've reappropriated 7,300 of the 14 from last year's budget. So now what is being asked of the taxpayer to keep that 1,400 is only 6,643 this year.
Okay, thank you for
Does that
explaining
make
that.
sense how
Yes.
that all,
So,
and I know a lot of districts, a lot of schools,
so how do you
I think
reappropriate the money?
that you just don't spend the money. If you don't need it, don't spend it. Then it can go back to your taxpayers. A lot of, and maybe it was older time thinking or what, it's like spend every penny, spend every penny. Like if you don't need it, reappropriate it, let it go back.
Okay.
But it was kind of the general idea, it's like, no, don't reappropriate, that's bad. You're giving money back. Well, you need to give it back to your taxpayers.
So is building reserve is also one where, is that correct?
That is correct.
So what, well, sorry, would you finish? So we have adult education.
Adult education, the technology and the flex funds, those are just some funds that are carrying over from past accounts. Technology in high school is part of that levy that was passed a couple of years ago. The elementary levy failed, so you don't have that extra money coming in to help fund technology stuff in the elementary, but you do the high school.
Right.
And then the state does kick in a little bit every year to technology, and that's what that 1872 is.
Yep.
So it's really not a budgeted fund, it's just there. And,
Okay.
and if you follow that column over to, column H, where it has $0, there's no money from the local taxes.
Right. So adult education and building reserve are really the two that would be part of a non-permissive levy, is that correct?
That is correct. In building reserve, that's the one where I was saying there's kind of that sweet spot. You put this number in and then the state will do the maximum match.
Or sorry, a permissive levy, right? For the adult education building reserve, that would be part of.
Right.
The other components are not.
So that means that we do vote, like we can change those numbers.
Well, tuition you could change and say, nope, we don't wanna pay the paras out of tuition fund. You gotta figure out how to get it all out of general funds.
But I mean, this isn't really, or it, I guess it is. So,
So this is just kind of your base overall, and then from this, it's like, okay, these are the funds you have to work with. Now, internally, you have to figure out how much is power bills, how much is sports, how much is salaries, how much is copy paper and copy machine expenses.
and like you said, what could be covered potentially by two different funds,
Exactly,
right?
yes. And then because we're K-12 schools, so much comes out of elementary, so much comes out of high school, and you break it all out.
So do you have a sense for, so using the easy example for me of if during the course of this year, there's a decision to take action and, and have someone else become principal, and, you know, and obviously we're hoping to get a 5th grade teacher. I mean, at this point in time, with the current staff that we have, do you have a good sense for where we're sitting with available dollars for salary?
Not exact amounts, but just overall, the difference in full-time superintendent versus a half-time superintendent, quarter-time principal versus, and even if we kick that up, I think we are gonna be just fine. And when you bring in your quality educator components and right now, short one teacher, you know, and title teachers and the title monies is totally separate from your general budget funds.
Are we advertising for a 4th grade teacher or a kindergarten teacher or both? Just
That job is
elementary
still,
teachers?
it's still currently posted.
Okay,
and
As
then-
an elementary teaching
Yeah.
position.
So,
because elementary they can do both, like they're.
yeah, when you
variations.
post it on OPI, it's just posted as elementary
Okay.
teacher.
Thank you. I had asked,
And we're gonna keep
somebody
both of
had,
those on.
Or I'm gonna, yeah.
somebody had asked if we would automatically put Corey back in 4th and change, the
Good.
little guys in
Not
the kindergarten
necessarily.
right
No,
away,
not
and I,
necessarily.
okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, they're all
So these are different, just for
So if you
learning
look-
process, let's take adult education, there's 14
But what she was
on
saying
the
about
high
these
school
two,
and
these were
14 on the
ones that
elementary. Do
Yeah,
they,
that's correct.
do they
put
take, so
what
does
we
that
want
28,000 or is
This
it
is
four?
the levies that
okay.
they vote on, or
So that's what we
not.
get for adult, it is 28,000,
the
14
ones that
here and
we just
14
have the
here.
authority to do,
Correct.
they're non-voting.
So non-voting,
Hmm.
thank you.
Yeah, that's why I'm
But we
asking about
didn't
them, it's really
use
if people
Nope.
were,
this here.
that's,
Yep.
No, cause I
So,
never,
We
I
don't
never
have to take
understood
14, we're only gonna take,
how,
You take what you're
How do you have a
reappropriating, what you
non-voted
didn't
versus
spend last year,
a
out
voted,
to
and what will,
what we
like,
will need to ask the
and
taxpayer
none of the
for
paperwork's ever
to bring
made
it
any
back up
sense
to
to
the
me.
14.
it's
Okay.
specific to certain funds.
And like I said, it used to be kind of the mindset of you spend every penny, and you just keep asking your taxpayers. And some places are still like that. But I think Joel and I are definitely on the same page of
And if we don't need it, give
it's
it
going back
it's
to
their
our,
money.
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
And tuition, how is that fun? Now with the way that like our out of district is set up, does that go into that fund?
Yes.
And we do pay paraprofessionals out of there.
Only certain ones.
Okay, thank
Only
you.
certain ones.
Okay.
there's a whole criterion
I was
guideline that
writing-
has to come into that, but then you take this para for
This
this
kid,
child and the,
yeah,
that meet these certain guidelines can be paid out of that, but then you also have to figure what you have to pay the other districts who had your children last year.
right. Okay,
So
I just,
those two amounts is what makes that budgeted amount.
okay. I was writing notes about it, but I
Mhm.
didn't catch everything.
So I guess I'm gonna ask a question on what's appropriate, because what I would like to be able to do is go home, study this budget plus the outside research that it takes to interpret this, make sure I'm doing my job.
Absolutely.
Probably follow that up with a sit down with you, because I'm sure I'd have some lingering questions. I'm wondering if we can do that so that we're not wasting a lot of not wasting, but if all of us were to come in individually and sit down with you, that's a lot of your time invested. I'm wondering if, without breaking quorum rules, like if you could sit down with 2 trustees at a time or something and go through it. I think that would be okay, but
Can't you sit down with president and vice president together?
Sure.
Thank you guys.
I don't think we should have 3 since
No.
there's 6. That's
No,
pushing.
the three is a no, it'd have to be 2, cause it has to be less than the quorum.
So I would love I would like the opportunity to sit down with you for
Yeah.
Yes, and I would
after
like
I've done
Mr.
some level of
Ramsey
homework.
to be able to
And you
be
could
part of
share
that
everything
as
with
well,
us
and
then.
we can all learn
Like
together.
when we have our next open meeting.
Well, I think better yet, the more of us that ask the question, I mean, I'm happy to share anything I learned, but rather than me interpreting what the knowledgeable person, I think the more of us that can get it right from Tammy, the better. But I'm certainly happy to always share anything I think I've learned. But there is certainly value in lots of eyes and independent questions. So like that's kind of where I was going, Kyra. Like
Yes.
if you and I could schedule a time to sit down together with Tammy or something like that, if you were interested in doing that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I was just looking at my schedule.
So this one is due the 25th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am
You're pretty booked.
absolutely booked, but I was
But that's
hoping we
okay,
could all go
because
through
We
it
do
together.
need to determine the board meeting date.
Yes,
for
we do,
budgets.
and Kyra, you can always email at your convenience any questions that you have to Miss Tammy, and she will answer those and get those back to you.
Might not
if
be
that
right away
fits.
for a while,
Yeah,
there's like.
but if
that's
that fits better
priority.
into your schedule, that way you get your questions asked.
And we can ask whatever we want at the next meeting prior to
That's what
voting.
I mean, if we can
Yeah.
kind of go through it
Absolutely.
and everything you learn, you give us a quick rundown for maybe, I don't know, I like it when all of you guys ask questions and then it answers more than just the ones I have.
Sure. Yeah.
But I would like to go and study this and do some outside studying
So,
before just saying yes tonight.
Right.
Absolutely.
can I have a motion? Do you have any questions on high school?
No, not specifically. I think.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the board at this moment, that we table, item 5K, A and B until everybody pick out your calendars, please.
Mm-hmm.
Let's ask one question though
Yeah.
first. So let's say the board does catch something or there's something weird that we want to adjust. How much time? So this is due the 25th. When do you think we would be smart to have our meeting? How soon before the 25th?
I'd give it a couple of days at least.
So
Yes,
probably
they have,
earlier next week.
earlier next week would be really good.
So what day is the 25th?
It's
It
a
is a
Monday.
Monday,
2 weeks.
it's the first Monday of
Tuesday's the
school.
11th. If we take Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, if we, I'm good Tuesday through Friday evenings, 19th through the 22nd, and then after that it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, I would. See, school starts Wednesday, right?
Yes.
So what about
first day of
for-
school.
What about for, you guys, is there something to avoid or?
The 19th, you guys have some kind of training, right?
Until 6:30.
And are
Well,
we
on the
having a
19th,
back
we
to
have,
school?
we have our PIR days on the 18th and 19th. I have a further, training on the 19th from 4:30 to 6:30. That's repeated on the 20th.
So there's no good days for you that week.
Actually, the only evening that I wouldn't wanna do anything would be the 22nd, where it's sort of doing the triangle run.
Okay.
Oh, that's the triangle run.
I almost wonder, the 19th is particularly appealing to me because my folks are gonna be here, so. Got help with the girls. But,
I can make the 19th work, but I can't get out until 6:30.
Are we gonna do a meet and greet for the kindergartens? Do you know that yet?
The 19th, we're doing meet and greet, yes,
Oh, you are?
yes.
Oh, we
We
have
are.
a couple
We're
of
gonna have a
kindergarten
building
moms that'll
full of
love to hear that.
parents.
Yeah. We're doing we're not gonna have food because we're doing a barbecue
Mhm.
on the 4th. I just haven't put the 19th in there, so 19th is not gonna work.
Okay.
Oh, meet and
I
greet.
just didn't know if we.
What time's the meet and
You
greet?
talked to the teachers yet?
We're gonna do,
6, right?
6 to 7:30.
Okay, perfect. I just want.
Kyra, did you say Monday doesn't work for you, the 18th?
No. Finn, I have to take him to Kalispell for an appointment, so Monday that's gonna be, I don't think, cause it's not even until 2:00.
Okay, what about the first day of
The
school?
20th. The first day. of
So,
school.
what about the first day of school? I mean, if you guys are.
We'll already be here. Again, I have a
Oh,
Meeting until 6:30.
meeting
Until
until 6:30.
But we could do 7, and this would be the only agenda.
Or you could do
i-
6:30.
Or 6:30,
Mhm.
and this is the only agenda item that we would have at this moment.
oh. So it'd be a quick.
It could
meeting.
be a potentially quick one.
Up to you guys. So how many questions are answered prior to?
I can certainly make that work.
Okay, Kyra, I got their head shaking. What is the
Okay,
20th?
so the 20th.
At 6:30.
Let's see here, let me.
Should we make
slap-
a motion to table this until?
Yes, and I just needed to get the date
Gotcha.
and the
So
time.
6:30, school board meeting number 999.
For the month.
It's only 9:90.
6:30.
Okay, so as for Tammy's records, I need a motion to table item 5K, A and B until August the 20th at 6:30 in the library.
Make a motion to table agenda items. Sorry, 5K, A and B until August 20th at 6:30 p.m. in the library.
I second.
6:30 p.m. in the library.
Colonel Western.
Made a clue joke.
Any public discussion? Okay. Moving on to reports, information only. Item 6A is board report, which is myself. So on September, no, it isn't, the 19th, mine is everything we're running. I gotta pull up my calendar, sorry. Now see, this is one. Mr. Ramsey, when are we doing the barbecue?
The 4th,
Thank you. September the 4th.
September the 4th.
Oh, it's
What is the barbecue?
September the,
Back to school barbecue.
right. So Mr. Ramsey we're doing the back to school, and it also, he is tying in the 100-year and everything. We are 3 trustees shy of being a full board. Unless he turns in his, and then we'll be 2 shy of having a full board. But I was going to see if you guys would like to have a table. And we don't have to sit at the table all the time because we can only sit there to, you know, not have a quorum. And everybody else can, you know, go and do what they, mingle with everybody else. But if we can have the board table and have our oath paperwork there that they need to bring to Miss Tammy. Yes, to recruit, to also let people like ask us questions, give Mr. Ramsey's phone number and an email if they have serious questions, or direct him to them. But it's a great way for us to mingle with our parents and get people interested in coming and joining the board. And then we can put the flyer about the kindergarten, the positions that are open, kind of use the table for information to fill needs that we have. I'm down with doing it, but I didn't want to say, yeah, the board would do it if nobody else was interested. I'll still do it myself, but I just wanted to open it up to everybody and let you guys know.
I think it's a good idea, but I will not be here. I'm gonna be gone the first week of September.
I'll be here, that's fine. I think that's good.
And then also, before we leave tonight, before we adjourn, we need to sit down. I have 2 trustees that are not going to be available for board meetings. We need to either decide if we want to, and your
Mine's the 8th.
Yeah, yours September and your October. So yours we don't have to discuss now, and I think we'll be okay
You'll be
if we
okay
just
if it's
make
just
sure
one.
everybody else is here. So yes. And then the next meeting we're gonna have regular school board meeting. I am going to add, we have all of those policies. Yes, thank you. We have 35 policies that Kelova has sent us. So we need to at least do the second reading on those. I would recommend let's do the top 10 on the next board meeting. So if you guys can look at the first 10 that comes up, not the double ones, the actual 10 that she sent. And then we can discuss, and if we need to change anything or if we don't like the wording, we can do those. But we need to move through those so we can get our board policy posted on our website.
So we got a list, and
Yep,
it's
I
the
got
same
35.
policy doubled up. One says clean, the other
Yep.
says.
It tells you what she has taken out.
But
So I want to do those.
That entire list is what you want to
Yes.
work on the first 10 from in
First 10.
numerical order.
Correct.
In addition to that, a lot of the policies are wrought with typos.
Yes.
Simple non-functional things like, because we stole them from other districts, like one says, we will report this in the Fort Peck Times, or and I would really like to get a lot on top of that. I do think there's some functional things this board would care about. I know you brought up a potential policy that we might want to reevaluate as a board. I've found a few, so I think it'd be good in
These are
addition.
the ones that you sent us to go through that are
Yes,
the
that
state
Kelova,
ones.
yes,
that
the
Kelova-
Kelova, the
Okay, I've
legislator
been-
has come out, and most of the redacted is by like what was passed, and so she did send us the clean copy and what was taken out, so everybody knows exactly the difference between the two without having to pull up your old policies. We also, Mr. Ramsey is going to be working on a social media policy for us, for our school. We do have a policy, but it doesn't really touch on the social media part of it.
You mean talking like employee use of?
Yeah. I know we have a board policy, it's 5223, I believe.
Yeah, I've been looking at policies lately.
I do believe that it's a great policy, and we actually do have it in our book.
Keep adding to it.
We can it's 5223, Mr. Ramsey.
5223.
Yes, sir. We can add to it.
Oh, sorry, just a quick question on
Yes,
that one. Is that more appropriate to be in the staff handbook or in board policy or both?
Well, the thing is, I think it needs to be in both, because if it's in a district policy, it's everybody in the district. And our board policy is district policy. Our staff is just staff. We, as board members, need to be held to the same standards as our staff when it comes to social media, is the way I feel. So me personally, I would rather have it in our district policies, then we're all covered. But I am one of 9, so.
No, I agree. It should not be a double standard.
Mhm.
Circling back real quick, though, so there's the list on board policy that that Amber explained with where Kelva went in, looked at all the legislature and said, we gotta change X, Y, and Z because of changes to law. On top of that, I think there's some typos we should clean up, and then on top of that, I think there are some policies that aren't in that list that this board might wanna take a closer look at and modify.
I would hope, once, we get a routine kind of set up that, I personally would like to work with Mr. Ramsey, and every month I believe we should work on policies. And we should start at one end of the policy book and go to the next and take it from there. But the last few meetings, we've just been catching up with everything, so. That is my goal, is that way we can stay on top of them and make them, district, policies for Knoxon.
Policy committee.
We can't,
That's in one of the policies I read about committees, and I mentioned it to Whitesell, but we can get committees for lots of different things. Like that's what I was thinking, the sports committee, and then we just gotta like reach out to our peeps, and people want to join committees. They don't want to join the board because I feel like they don't want to commit. And then
well, the board's policies would just be school board, and it would just be a meeting.
Oh.
Tammy's shaking her head no, I can barely see it.
No, you're probably right.
just
It would be, and basically, from what I understand from reaching out to a prior school board president or chairs, they broke into groups and they read it and come back, but that is not being recommended by those two. That because we have this on like the reports, it'd be easier for the board chair to say, hey, we're going through these policies, you guys bring your questions to the board, we'll discuss them as a full board. That way we're not having a committee meet, going through 10 policies, bringing our recommendations back to the board, talking about it, not all 9 of us agree, so then we're going back to the committee, having another discussion. Do you guys agree on this one? Do you agree on this one? And it's kind of defeating the purpose. So that's why I was 10 sounds like a good number where we can have a pretty decent meeting where we're not, rushing to get home to the kids, and we can still have time to do the research that we need. So that's
okay.
what my goal was. So other than September the 4th, which I hope all of us come to the barbecue, just make sure that we are not in a quorum talking about anything, because we will be perceived from our public, no matter if we're talking about baby diapers, it will be perceived that we are talking about board. So
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. I would go on the 4th. The other I was thinking might be good for this board to do is coordinate a little more and try and be intentional about at least one of us being at all of the events that it would be healthy to have the board, so that just really giving the public and whatever interested group the opportunity to talk to us, ask questions, tell us why we made a terrible decision, whatever it might be. But just get out there a little more intentionally, especially with all of the different functions associated with the school.
I will be at the meet and greet too. Do you want to bring snacks, Mr. Ramsey? Because I can make a Costco
To the
run.
meet and greet
Yeah.
on the 19th.
Yes. I know it's short notice. I don't
I
know how
wasn't-
much we're gonna.
I wasn't planning on having our
Okay.
kitchen do food or anything, but I wasn't planning on having
Okay.
just
We'll
an
do the
opportunity
barbecue.
for parents especially of the younger kids, to come in and see the classroom
And the older kids get their locker and put their stuff in.
if they haven't already. They've been
Okay.
coming in getting their locker already.
And we don't need the littles all sugared up the day before school.
Ah, that's true. Okay. Alright, for my reports, that's everything, unless you guys have any other questions or something we need to be aware of as the full board. I just like the public to know that we're talking about things and we're,
One thing we talked about, back to board policy, is making sure we all have whatever the current, cause I was reading the policy on
15, 20.
trustee
Yeah,
absences.
15, 20.
And the policy I'm reading says that the full board, the rest of the board votes to decide whether it's excused or not.
Oh,
But other people have versions that don't have that language.
So that's why the policy book is completely on my
is
radar
you're
because
reading the one that's online?
Mine is the one that I pulled off of line probably about a year ago.
Oh,
It was the 24 because we don't have an official 25 quite yet.
and Mr. Whitesell has unfortunately he had updated it, but not all of
so what's it updated to right now?
The old
It's a
policy.
mess.
It is not the
Actually, I know mine is the wrong one because I was trying to find a policy and,
And
was
it's
grilling
not.
Dave about it. He's like, "It's in there," and then he said, "Oh no, you got the wrong version." So I need to
and
get
I
the
have
right
an
version.
outdated printout. So yes, that's why I'm pushing for our policies to get approved so that we can get the updated version on our website and to all the trustees. So we all are the community, parents, everybody has the same copy. So, but we just approved a bunch of things on our things that will help out with that transition. So, all right, Mr. Ramsey, the strategic planning committee. It's
What
all
I'm gonna do
yours.
is that first, and then
Sure.
I'll just combine mine.
Sure. That works.
Or like,
Or we could skip his. I mean,
Skip me.
He's been waiting
he's
Back
here
up.
been here the whole time.
Yeah, parent coach meeting Wednesday night, this Wednesday night. Meet the parents, go over the rules. First high school football game is August 29th. That's at home. And the first volleyball match is September 2nd. So they're coming up.
Who's the first home game against?
Football?
Yeah.
Whoa. North. Sunburst. I think north of that. We're in a little different group. And September 2nd is Hot Springs for volleyball.
when was the football game?
29th, August.
August 29th.
Yes, ma'am. And that's just the first home. I know the high school girls play in Drummond.